ladies, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to go through structure of challah. We're going to spend about 20 minutes making the dough. And then we're going to spend 20 minutes and I'm going to show you as many ideas of what you could do with challah dough in 20 minutes. Okay, so we're going to kind of go a little bit fast. We're going to start actually with the most important thing. We're going to start with the yeast, because a lot of people, it says, now, here's the most important thing when you're starting with yeast. It says proof the yeast. So people look at it and they say, yeah, that's yeast. That's not what it means by proof the yeast. Proof the yeast means to let it rise. And a lot of recipes say, oh, you don't need to do that anymore because the yeast today is much better. Let me tell you, if you want your challah and any grain to rise twice as much, do what we're going to do right now. So the other thing is, everyone says, oh, why do I need a thermometer? I'm not a chef. I'm telling you, if you want consistent results in your challah, get something like this. It just sticks right in there or whatever. I know we all have a thermometer. God provided us one that we carry with us everywhere we go. Okay. You can use that. I've been making challah a long time. I've done hundreds and hundreds of people how to do challah. I don't rely on my finger because one day, anyway, okay, so here's the thing. So what you need to do is I let the water run until it gets to the right temperature. I take my rings off. Actually, I think I'll take my watch and thing off also. You can get ready. And those of you at home who have the ingredients, you can do this right along with me. Okay, so now, here is how. Okay, so you want it at about somewhere between 110 to 115 degrees. See, I would have thought that was right. Okay, let's just get a little bit more heat. And that's one thing I tried to do everything before, but that's one thing you can't really do before. I just don't want to kill my yeast. If you do it, here we go. If you do it too hot, the yeast will die. Now, you need 3.5 cups of yeast. Can they see me? Yeah, okay. You need 3.5 cups. Yeah, this is exactly 112 degrees. Perfect. So now, you see, 112. What I do is, you can't see this from up there, from over there, is I use this cup every time I make challah. So I measured 3.5 cups and I put it there and I put the black line there. I've got a little bit too much water. I put the black line there and then I never have to kind of make myself crazy every week. Here is the big secret to making awesome proof challah. First of all, I know on the recipe, if you look at the recipe, the second side, this column, where is it? Right there. That column tells you what you need for this step, number 5 through 8. And it's 3.5 cups of water. And then it really doesn't matter how much, I said a tablespoon just because if there's people out there who are OCD. I'm not making fun of OCD people. We've got plenty of OCD blood in our family. Okay, whatever. Okay, so here we go. So you just take whatever, doesn't really matter. One tablespoon, 2 tablespoons. It's going into challah anyhow. Yeast, in order to proof yeast, it needs dinner and dessert. There was dinner. I just gave it dinner. Now I'm going to give it dessert. Can they see this from the top? Yeah. Okay. So here, I don't know, a tablespoon. If you want to measure it out, be my guest. It doesn't really matter. Okay. So now, and by the way, you want to always use high gluten flour. There's many brands of it that you don't have to worry. You can always find it. It works out better. If you don't have it, who cares? Just use regular flour. Okay, so now what I do, by the way, this is the yeast I use. You can use any brand. I get this. Can I see this? It's just Red Star. I have to turn it sideways. It's going to pour out. But Red Star. There it is, Red Star yeast, and huge things. If you buy it from the supermarket in those little packets, they're often half dead. I shouldn't say that. I don't want to insult anybody, whatever. Maybe they'll work. This works better because this is what the bakeries use. Okay, so now here's our tornado. See, we'll make a little tornado here. You take a heaping spoon of the yeast, okay? You pour it in the middle of that tornado. Then you start the tornado in the opposite direction. You don't have to do this. This just makes it really, really incorporate well. The yeast has an outer husk on it, and when you pour that into the water and give it some good, vigorous stirring, you are breaking the outer husk, and now you're going to watch something really spectacular as this thing rises. Okay, so far. That's about right. Ta-da! Good. And that goes in the sink. Okay, so this goes back in the refrigerator. I just keep it there. It lasts me months and months and months. Fine. Okay, so here's your yeast. Now, this is very crucial. you're taking 2 pieces of aluminum foil. You could put saran wrap, you could put a bag, you could put nothing. Actually, you could leave it. Why do we take 2 pieces of foil? Because otherwise, if you are there and you've got 4 kids running around and people in and out the house, well, now it's COVID, nobody's in and out the house. But anyway, you're the phone's ringing, you've got a corporate business meeting, you're on a conference call or whatever, you may forget to take challah, which is that's why we're doing this whole thing. The only reason we're here is to take challah from this. And if you forget, that you can't eat the bread. So here, you have to ask a rabbi and figure out. But anyway, you take these 2 pieces. This is so that you remember. You put this here, and then we're going to use this foil to dispose of the challah later, to get rid of the challah, to burn it. And I'll explain how to do it. If there's 2 ways to do it, we'll go over that. There is that. We're just going to set that aside. Now, if you look, you see, it's no foam, no fuzz, just, pretty straightforward. But wait, you wait. What's going to happen? Okay, now, next thing. Is any questions, Sarit? We're good? Everybody's following along? Anybody have anything it's pretty clear so far? Just you let me know. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. So far, so good.
So far, so good. Okay, fantastic. So here, I already cracked the eggs because I didn't want to waste your time cracking the eggs. Here's the thing about eggs. Always crack eggs inside the sink. Okay, if you do it on the counter, how many people have you get egg and then it dribbles down the counter and it goes, okay, so you do it inside the sink, you crack them in there, and then I put them in a clear measuring cup. That way I can check the eggs and see if there's any blood spots. If there's blood spots, you have to throw them away. Ask a rabbi, some people say it's okay because it's only a small part of 6 eggs. But you need to ask, but you check. If it's got no blood spots, you're good to go. Again, we want 1 cup of oil. Why should I wash another dish? All I did is I put eggs in here, and I have a black line. This is what I always use. Actually, I have 4 of them because when I make for Sheva Bracha's big parties or whatever, I make a lot of challah. So you put a black line there, and then you never have to measure again. That's dedicated. It goes inside my challah bowl, inside the cupboard. Okay, so now I'm just going to pour it right to there. No fuss, no muss. I'm using canola oil. You can use any kind of oil that is your preference. I think, might give a little flavor. But okay, so that's that. So we're doing this in 3 steps. We have the yeast mixture, we have the egg and oil mixture, and now we're going to go right to the challah mixture. The reason I love this recipe, you don't have to measure. How many times are you sitting there, 6 cups, 7 cups, and then somebody walks in the room like, I have to measure again, or sifting. You don't know whether you're using the right amount for the right amount of oil because sometimes the flour kicks up and sometimes it doesn't. So here, let me show you my measuring technique. That's it. Okay, you are done. Ta-da! Okay, and we have the other part of the challah is in the other part of the flour is in the yeast. Okay, fine. So here, let me just make sure we have these 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. You got it. Okay, so there is a whole bag. Now, there are differences of opinion of how many cups of flour you need to take challah. This is 17.5 cups. I think by most people, that's fine. If you have a question about it, ask your rabbi. If it's under 10 cups, then you don't take challah. If it's between 10 and 17, then you take without a blessing. But here, no problem. Use an entire 5-pound bag of flour. You should be fine. Okay, fine. Now, sugar. Oh, and let me give you the meanings of things. This is the flour. It's a very spiritual thing, making challah. So flour is koyach, is strength. Strength to grow. Strength to grow yourself. Strength to be inspiring to others. It's strength to do what you need to do in your life. That's what that symbolizes. The sugar is sweetness in the home. So we want 1.5 cups, and I'll show you how I do the 1.5 cups. You can see it from the top. Okay, good. So this is how I do the cup, right? That's a cup-ish. Yeah, good. Just in like that. Oh, I just ran out. So I usually go, that's too bad. I'm not going to waste time to get another thing. I usually go 1.5 cups is really like a cup and 3/4. Okay, because I want a lot of sweetness in my house. But this will be fine. Okay, I don't have salt. A bunch of people wrote in and said, hey, where's the salt in your recipe? I don't, this does not have salt. You can put salt if you want. It inhibits the rising, and this turns into a very sweet, like cake-like bread. Okay, so here, now what we have, and you can, this is just a pleasure. Anyone who's doing this along with me, you'll see. Just putting your hands in the flour. I'm just kind of getting the incorporating the sugar just a little bit. Now we want to get these into we want to get the yeast mixture and the egg mixture in here. We start with the yeast mixture because the heat, remember it was 110 degrees, it's probably cooled down quite a bit now, but the heat can actually cook the eggs and make the eggs coagulate or not rise as much. So you want to maximize your rising of the challah. Okay, let me get rid of this guy. We've got this beautiful, I could play with this all day. Okay, now you can see that. If we let this go, so you'll always start with the yeast mixture because that's rising while you're cracking the eggs, while you're getting everything ready, while you're getting your pans out, your bowl out, whatever, this is rising. So you can see now I've got a good inch. If I left this another 5 minutes, I'd get 2 inches. This is the yeast activating. So we just want to get this in first, and I'm going to incorporate it just a little, just enough so that it doesn't, the heat of it is dissipated so it does not cook my eggs. Okay, so this is a lot of turning the bowl. See, like this, and my fingers, I keep them about. Can you see it even against? See, just like that. You know, just kind of like a fork, I guess. And I can feel the nice warmth in it, and it smells yummy. Okay, so here we go. So now it's about right. You don't want to do it too much because you want. You don't want that to make a little ball. Yeah, that's about right. Okay, a couple of minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to put the eggs and make a little hole here. Often, by the way, you can do this completely with a machine. The thing about most machines don't do an entire bag of challah. So if you're going to go buy a machine, make sure it says it can do 17 cups of flour, or in a 5-pound bag of flour. There are many on the market that you can look at, or you can make by hand. So I'm doing it by hand because if people don't have it, I just like to pop the eggs. Okay, fine. Okay, so now we're just going to turn it. We're just going to keep going around until it turns into challah, into dough, into a nice dough. Scrape the side a little bit. Oh, also, I wanted to say a lot of people have their ovens are very spotted. So when you're cooking, there's a thing called a pizza stone. So we had a guy here, and he said, you need a new this and a new that and whatever. And he says, $300 to fix this and that and the other thing. And I said, yeah. And he said, you know what? Go on Amazon for $10. I think it was $12, something like that. You can buy a pizza stone. Put that at the bottom of your oven, and it'll retain the heat and make it even all over. And my baked goods are much better because of it. So that's the pizza stone. Okay, so basically you're going around and you're doing this again and again and again until you have a nice soft dough, which I have on the side there. This will take another few minutes. And a lot of the things they need for 10 minutes, you don't really need for 10 minutes. You will. Let's turn it out, and I'll show you a couple of the kneading techniques. But you can knead it until your arms get tired is the basic plan. Okay. So you see what it looks like? And don't ever try not to, even if it's a wet day out or whatever, try not to add any flour at any time to your baking, because if you do, you will, the flour, it'll taste like a hockey puck. Okay, so you're just going like this, and you want to incorporate it in, and it doesn't look very beautiful yet, but it will. So often you can stick this entire thing in a machine, the ingredients in a machine, it'll do all this hard part. The other part of kneading, once this looks beautiful, is my favorite part. Now, right now, you should know, this dough brings blessing into the home. So if you have a kid who is sick, and he's going to get home from school. Everybody's home from school now with COVID. But if you you should have him come and watch you do this, because there's something about kneading dough that is very, connecting to God, connecting to our Maker, and challah is a very special food. All food helps the body or sustains the body. Healthy food, even potato chips, whatever, maybe they do bad things, I don't know. But you see how it's turning in, it's getting prettier and prettier. But challah is the only, oops, my earbud is coming out. Challah is the only is the only food known to mankind, or that exists, that nourishes the body, and the soul. So when you're eating challah, and for those of you who are gluten-free, you're eating oatmeal, oat flour or whatever, which is me, I'm gluten-free, so I use oat. It's the same thing. It nourishes the body, nourishes the soul. And, you see how I'm doing this? Can you see I'm pushing it away, turning it a quarter, pulling it back, pushing it away with my heels and my hands, turning it like that. So it just kind of goes into a motion. And you do it. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to say to Hashem, to God, please, God, give each and every woman who's watching today and all of our people in the world a healthy, happy life, that they should have joy and happiness in their life, and they should have shalom bayis and come closer to their husband more and more each and every day. Amen. Okay, so you can do it a little bit more if you like. It'll get turned very, very silky the more you do it. See how there's kind of these pock marks or, whatever. It looks like the surface of the moon. As you keep going, it'll turn like this. It'll look like the countertop. It'll get very glossy and beautiful. So now this is the moment we've all been waiting for. I'm going to take challah. Now I'm going to say the blessing, and this is the most important thing. And again, this is one of the three most important mitzvahs of a Jewish woman, and is to take challah. So we're going to do that right now. So,
Leah, they want to know, do you say the blessing before you let it rise the first time?
Yes.
Oh, okay. So you say
as soon as you get it to this is probably perfect. If I wasn't waiting on the show and didn't want to bore you guys, I would finish it up a little bit more so that it all looks more smooth like this. That's how I would do it. But this is good enough for now. And now is when you take challah. Now, if it's a batter like a cake or a cookie, and you're making 15 cups or something like that of the batter, you would bake the good and then take it after. But for dough, for challah, you take it right at this point. And again, this is the most important thing we're doing. And I usually see how I have the bottom has all the kind of weird stuff, because that's going to be on the bottom of the bowl that I'm putting it in. And this is, the top more smoother. So I usually grab like this. Can they see what I'm doing? Okay. Mm-hmm. You're taking about an egg size. That it's a kazayas is less than an egg, but I'm always afraid I'm going to take too little. So you take it like this, and before you're ripping it off, you say the blessing. So Adam, do you mind putting the blessing up on the screen so that people can see it? Okay, fine. So, dear Hashem, please grant me and my husband and all of our nation with an aliyah and shalom bayis. Okay, Baruch. Did they see it? Is it up there, Sarit?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, it's up. Good. So you can say it with me. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kiddushanu b'mitzvosav v'tzivanu lahafrish challah. I pull it off like that. Now I hold it up and I make a declaration. Can you put the declaration up? Harei zeh challah, which means this is challah. Okay, this now is very bad to eat. It's like eating. Jewish people are not allowed to eat bacon. It's like eating pure bacon. This is, and I notice I can touch this with my left hand. I don't even touch this with my right hand because it's so treif. Okay, it's so not kosher. So now there are two ways to do this. One, there's many ways, but the two most common ways to get rid of this challah. This is what challah is. This is challah. We call that challah, but it's really, this is challah. So you can take a fork, stick this in it, and stick it on a gas grill like that, or do little pieces or whatever. Stick it over a gas flame, and it takes forever to burn. This fork then becomes very treif. You cannot use it for any other thing. That's not the way I do it, because the smell bothers me so much. The smell, the way I do it, also bothers me. And I said to him, I called the rabbi and I said, I hate the smell. It fills up my whole house with burning smell on Erev Shabbos. The whole house smells like burned challah dough. And he says, Mazel tov. Okay, that's all he could say. Okay, fine. So here you take these two foils. See, and sometimes you get to the foils and I forgot to take challah. It helps you. So here you go. I take them and I make them very, very flat. Okay, this is what, so they burn faster. You know, just there's no real reason for what I do except that it just goes much faster than any other way. If you leave it a big bulk, like a big blob, it would take 4 hours or something like this. This already takes a couple of hours sometimes. Okay, oops, I keep losing my earbud. Okay, so fine. So go like this. Now, the reason it's got two foils is because I don't want it to make my oven not kosher. Okay, so I want to make sure those both are fold over that side. Then you take this one and fold over that side. Now it's double wrapped, and now you cannot cook this with anything else. Some people might say you could, but I'm pretty sure the answer is it's better not. And I put this in my toaster oven, just like that. The little packet. It takes a couple of hours. I put it on 450, and I just leave it on my toaster oven. I'm cooking in my regular oven, all the other stuff for Shabbos. This is burning over in my toaster oven and smelling up the house. And that is taking challah. And you should all feel very invigorated and healthy that you spent the day today making challah with me. Okay, fine. I'm going to put that in the toaster oven. So I just wanted to show you, this is the challah that we worked on before. You know, I continue just kneading it. You can keep playing. See how beautiful and it's like the marble, you know, so you can just do that. And then you fold all this under and you put it in your bowl. You spray your bowl first with oil or wipe down with oil. You put oil on the top and you let that rise until you remember it. Okay. Everyone says, oh, well, this doesn't really matter. A year, not a year, an hour, 2 hours, 4 hours. You can also freeze this. You can cut it into pieces and freeze it. Although there is you have to ask a rabbi because there is differences if you take challah, if you took it before and so forth. So you have to be very careful how you do that. Okay. So here is, this one, I'm going to show you the one I made this morning that is already risen. Oh, we forgot the drum roll, but there you see it, okay? So this turns into this in 2, 3, 4 hours, something like that. You can leave it 5 hours even if you want to. And then what you do is you just punch it down like this, okay, with my fingers like that, and you turn it out onto your board. Actually, this one I took some of these off to make a challah that is now baking in the oven. So, okay, fine. Okay, so let me just show you this one I'm going to put in this bowl here. And I'm going to show you, you can take, I just want to also say, if you have a machine and you want to make your challah by machine, what you would do, and it doesn't do a whole thing of flour, then you have to do cups. You have to do half at a time. And so 17 and a half divided by 2, about 8 cups each or whatever. You put it in, and then you do one batch, and then you do the other batch. You don't take challah until after they're both little balls are on thing. Then you combine them, then you take challah. Okay, because you need that much to make a bracha. But if you haven't bought a machine, or you have a machine that can do a whole bag, if not, you can just do it like we did here. Okay, so fine. So now I get this little, whatever, you can buy these. I actually bought these at Home Depot. Maybe they're not plastic, whatever, so maybe whatever, but they're 88 cents. You can get things, different kind of cutters or whatever. They're like $20 in the food stores. But anyway, this is what I use. So you want to take your challah. Oh, can you see this on the upper thing? It looks like about like this. So I'm going to start with a very simple challah. And usually you would break this into, and you just go like that. You don't need a sharp knife. So I'm going to make 8 challahs here. I already made, let's see. Okay, that's all right. Okay. So that makes, a full bag of flour makes 8 very good size challahs. I would say serves 4 to 6 people. You can also break this into thirds and make 6 challahs, or you can bake it into 12s. It makes also 60 rolls. So I basically take this. We're going to just make a regular 3 thing challah. Many people already know how to do this. And, the main thing is don't make yourself crazy. See these creases and whatever. Okay, it's fine. That's challah. That's how the bread comes, and a lot of stuff just smooths out. For this one, we want to do a little bit shorter and fatter things, and I'll show you how, and I'll show you on a longer one to make a round challah in a second. But okay, so just like this, the secret to challah, to making a nice big fat in the middle, instead of like having one misshapen and one side looks all fat and the other side looks all skinny, is to start in the middle. So you go like that for people who don't know how to braid, over, 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 over. Now this, a lot of people cut this. You don't need to, just go like this, flatten it out, squish it together, okay? Fold it under, ta-da, done. Okay, now you're under braiding, under, under, under. And you can see you get a much more even look of the challah. Sometimes when you do it, when you start at the top and go down, it looks very uneven. Okay, and again, we're gonna take this and we're gonna flatten it and go under. There's your challah, you're done. Some people, I like it, you can just put that right on the cutting board. On the cookie sheet, that's how I cook it. Some people put it in a pan so that it gets a certain shape. You can do whatever you like there. Let me just put that where maybe you can see it in the camera. Okay, so now we're going to make another one. I'm going to show you how to make the simplest, maybe not the simplest, but one of the simplest round challahs for Rosh Hashanah. And also, I sometimes make these at other times of the year just because it's they're so pretty. You have to think about what what occasions you have, the Shiva Brachas or different events, if anybody's going to events these days. Okay, so you want to, again, you're going to braid this, but see how long and skinny it is? This is going to, it's going to be very different than that one over there. And I'm even going to, let's see, did I do that right? And then again, you're just braiding upside down. Okay, if you feel uncomfortable braiding upside down, you can turn it over. Would that make it? I'm not sure. But I know what you could do. You could turn it like that and braid it that direction. I think that might work. Okay, so here you are. You've got this long, long braid. You want to make it round. You just start at one end and you start wrapping it around like that. Ta-da, ta-da. How do you say it? Ta-da. And then you go like this. I turned it over. I squish that in. You don't want that flipping out while you're baking it. So I just really squish it in there. There you go. Don't be afraid of the challah. If there's a part you don't like, just tuck it in like that. Make it look like that. Nice round challah. Okay, now I'm going to show you very quickly how we do a 6 braided challah. And the 6 braided challah, there's many, many different ways to do it, many complicated ways. This is the Tic-Tac-Toe Method. Some of you may or may not have heard of this before. Again, if you are making a simcha and you want a centerpiece for, the main buffet table or something like that, you wouldn't use this little bit of challah for a little tiny 6 braid. You'd use, probably 3 of these or 2 of these, a larger portion of the challah. So basically you're going like this and you're going, it's over under. Here we go. Okay, so you're doing 3. Again, you're kind of making a little bit of a tic-tac-toe board. Actually, I think I'll use these 3 because it's okay. So you want over, under, and then under, over. Is anyone following this? You following this, Sarit?
Yes, I am, and it's very clear because we get to see both views. So.
Oh, good. Okay, fine. Okay, so fine. And again, this is probably I'd make these fatter if I was really doing the beautiful thing. And okay, so there you go. Looks like a tic-tac-toe board or whatever, a little bit of a weave. Now you're just braiding each of these sides and tucking them under, and it just comes out. Once this rises and bakes up, it comes out so pretty looking. And a lot of this braiding here gets tucked under, so you're not going to see it anyway. So basically something like this. And this one, again, this is good for Rosh Hashanah, for a time of the year where you want a round challah. Something like that. And it looks like a basket from the sides. Can you see from the sides? Okay. And you can put that in a pan, or you can just leave it like that. Either way. Okay, let's do a little bit of some rolls. Rolls are very fun. And the thing about rolls is, and I'm just going to do it and show you how fast it goes each, when you like that. Okay, I'm going to do that slowly now. You roll it out like this. You hold it like this in your hand, and you just tuck in a knuckle amount. See, like that. You tuck that in. You get your finger out if you can, and then you kind of smush those like that, and you end up with a knot like that. Those rise up beautiful, and you can do 60 of those in no time flat. You just, tuck them, tuck them, tuck them. And the way I put them on the board actually is very helpful. I go boom, boom. This is how I do all my rolls. You can fit 15 on a half-size cookie sheet. So then the next row would go, and you see how I had this like weird thing, a nose coming out of it. I just tuck it under. Who cares? Fine, like that. And you do them and you do three rows of 15 or whatever like that. Then you put one, dun, da, 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 like 5, 5, 5. I might need to squish them in a little bit more. Okay, let's go to the next one. I'm going to show you how to do a stretch challah. And a stretch roll is basically this is what you would do for a pull-apart challah. So you're going like this, and you're tucking it in itself. You're just going like that to tuck, to make it kind of go like, how do you say that? Sarita, I'm having trouble with my English, like that. But by pulling it taut like that, what do you say?
Trying to make it like a ball?
Like a ball, right. But do you see how I'm doing it? This little piece came out too small. So if you did one too small, just add it to a different one. It's fine. You're stretching it. I call them stretch rolls or whatever. But you go like this, and you just keep pushing it in like that, so that it's beautiful on one side, and then that's the side you cook it on. Okay? And this is how you do stretch challahs. So you would take a pan like this, you would spray it, and you'd put them in like that. You could even do bigger ones, whatever size roll you want, and you would just keep going around and fill this whole thing. You can do it with a heart shape. That's beautiful for a shiva brachas, depends on your crowd. And again, the bottom looks icky and the top looks pretty, and you just pop them all in like that.
Stretch it like that and flatten it. Is it because it makes it?
Right, because if you just were to put this in like this, it wouldn't rise up very nice or very pretty.
Okay. No, I'm saying, but you can roll it in your hand like a ball without stretching it.
Oh, you mean like this?
Yeah, that's what I was asking. If there's a
look at the difference.
Oh, meaning it doesn't have the same ending. Okay, good.
Right. When you bake it up, it's not going to look pretty. Now I'll show you. There's a Kaiser roll you can also do with this. So you go like this, and you get it ready, right? And you make all your bowls, or you can do one at a time or whatever. Then there's a little doohickey like this, right? My handle fell off. I've had this so many years, but I don't make these so much. I don't think they come out as pretty as some of the other rolls I'm going to show you in a second. But basically, you put this in the middle there. You push down. Did you see that?
Oh, yeah. That's a nice indentation.
Yeah, it's good. And sometimes you cut through, which is...
Everything, all the sides pop up except the middle, stays a little bit flatter inside.
Say that. Yeah, exactly. It looks like a Kaiser roll when it's done. You can do this with a scissor also. You don't really need this fancy gadget. But what I usually do when I'm making lots of challah rolls for like a Shiva Brachas or, Shabbos challah, something like that, any event, I take a basket and I have many different types of rolls, and I'm going to show you some more now. And then I put like poppy seeds on this, and on these ones I put sesame seeds, and another one I put black sesame seeds, and so you can really mix it up. And then you see this basket; it's all the same dough. You think, oh, you made 14 different types of challah. No, I made one challah, and I just did it in different ways. They all taste delicious, so very sweet. Okay, so now. Let me just make sure, what do I want to try next? Oh yeah, you can do a simple pretzel. Just so you have a variety if you want to. Pretzel is pretty easy. Ta-da, that was a pretzel. If you want a pretzel to look really, really pretty, then you twist it so you twist it like this, right? And then you do the pretzel. And then it has a little bit of a, see? Don't make yourself crazy. But again, we put everything goes on here in the 15 pattern, on 15 on the thing, and you can put the Kaiser rolls here. The Kaiser rolls, some of them come out very pretty, some of them come out lopsided. So you have, if you're a perfectionist, let's see. Oh, cupcake tins. These are fantastic, these silicone cupcake tins. And if you want to put in here, you spray first and put them in here. Then they can pop out. Then they're all going to be uniform size. So again, if you're making lots of different rolls and you want to do a sort of variety basket, you can do some cupcakes. You can do some knots. We did knots, pretzels, stretched, which is you do for this, pull aparts. Kaiser's Cupcake. Oh, crescents. Let me show you crescents. So what happens here, these all, as they grow, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. And, you know, they'll probably even grow up over the edge a little bit maybe. And when you do that, they all bake together. So you can say the blessing on it over when you do hamotzi, blessing over it, and then each person can pull off their own, or the hostess can pull off a piece, and it's very, very pretty. Okay, I want to show you. This is my actual favorite one because it's so much fun to do. So I would say about that much challah. So as much that can fit in your hand. You go like that, and you squish it down. Don't be afraid of the dough. It loves you. Here we go. It brings blessing to your home. So for the crescent roll, this is kind of like, you know, what they call croissants, but it's really not. This is a crescent roll. Is you go and you get it as round as you can. You know, don't make yourself crazy. Okay.
You got a lot of yummy and cool on Instagram of all the different things. Somebody asked you on Torah Anytime's live stream if you could show how to make a 6 regular, meaning a 6 braided, but a regular braided, not
a 6 braided. You can. I'm not going to show it today. I've got only a third through of what I want to show. So, but I'm sure you can get a friend to show you, or you can look it up. Okay, so here, this is the crescent roll. So you've got a regular, you know, I would say, you know, what, a mini pizza, whatever you want to call it, and you're going to cut it in 8s. This is so much fun. Okay, so this is just a parv. It's made of plastic. I mean, I guess you can make a sharper one or whatever. It's a pizza cutter. Okay, but I don't know why I love doing this. Okay. Ta-da! Let's see. And now you just have to go right through the middle. And if you don't, it doesn't really matter. But there you go. Okay, fine. So now you're going like this. Ta-da! Easy as schmeezy. Isn't that unbelievable? And you put that on your tray. There we go. And these will all cook at about the same rate. Okay, going like that. And you can, if you want to fuss with them and make them perfect and beautiful, you know, you can do that. But that's, can you see that?
Yeah.
How that looks? Okay. So that is how you do that. Now, the beauty of these crescents is, watch this. You want to, let's say you want to make a crown challah for Shabbos. For Rosh Hashanah, right? Basically, what you do is you fill this whole thing up with stretch challahs, and then you take these, right, and you lay them like this. Okay, you take crescents, and you lay them like that, and when this rises up, you're going to have this absolutely not normal, breathtaking crown challah. Can you visualize that? I didn't make it one, but basically you have stretch challahs, and you take a crescent, instead of turning it, you just go like that, and you fold it over the edge. Okay, I would spray this edge well, so that it doesn't stick and wreck the crown. So that'll make a crown challah. In the middle, you can put maybe 2 or 3 crown pieces, you know, use your creativity on it, but that's just to give you another idea. Okay, so those are the crescents. Now let's go, another idea that you should know is, and again, you have to ask your rabbi maybe how much portion you can take off. I do this, I usually make 2 bags of challah at a time. So if I take, I think it's 1/6 of one bag away from it, I take challah, and then what I do with this is, I'm going to show you how to make pizza. You just take one of these pieces and you stick it in a plastic bag, maybe if you want to put a little spray, but I'm not positive you need it. But anyway, you take one of these, and I'm going to show you how to make a regular weekday pizza. So you're making challah for Shabbos. You take this and you put it in the freezer, and then you take it out a couple of hours before you're going to eat dinner. And if you're, you know, depending on how many pizzas you need, there goes Marriage Secrets. Okay, this is Marriage Secrets. By the way, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, this is my book, Marriage Secrets, by Leah Richeimer. And that book has 220 Torah sources on how to have the most awesome marriage in the whole world. That's what the whole Ladies Talk Show is about, is how to have a beautiful home, how to have a happy home, how to have peace in your home. And we go through our Masorah. This book is a very fun read, and it'll help you in your marriage. And I make no money from it, so I can sell it all I want. All the money goes to donate it for marriage, for people's marriage. Okay, so now I'm going to move these a little bit out of the way. Can you still see them a little bit? Okay. Okay, so this is, you're making a pizza. Now, here's the thing. So Leah, how's that going to be a pizza? That's like not big enough for pizza. That won't feed two people, right? So it looks like so here, again, you don't want to be afraid. You get it as round as you can. And then you take, watch it. See how it's all attached to the side. The way you make it be a thin crust pizza is pull. See how I'm doing this? See how thin it's getting? You're just pulling like that. You're pulling. So now, and it's sticking to the counter. And I used to do this when I had a tile counter, and you get weird lines in it. Who cares? Nobody's complaining as they're chewing on the pizza. Again, wait a minute, Leah. This is sweet pizza. Are you kidding? This is, you need special whatever, different kind. No. So I'm telling you, your kids will love it. Like, oh, this is the best pizza I ever had. Because, the sugar, it's a little sweet, whatever. And most importantly, it's holy. Now you see here, I've got a little bit of a hole here. No worries. Just go like that.
Your dough is
look at the bottom. What'd you say?
So malleable. It's like moves.
Yeah. This dough is very nice to do fun stuff with. So then what you do is you take it, the whole thing like this, you pick it up, you put it on a different cookie sheet, a milky cookie sheet, or, if you have a pizza, one of those round things, whatever. And then once it's on there, you just go around, you roll the edge however you like it. If you like big edges, be my guest. You can do whatever you want. Oops. So that's a pizza. Then you fill it with, you can make it round, and you can be perfect and perfectionist, whatever you want. You just put tomato sauce, sprinkle it with cheese and any other toppings in the oven, 400. You can cook it at 350 or 450. Don't make yourself crazy. 400 is probably, fine. You put, and then I would say 15, 20 minutes. Keep your eye on it. You might have to twist it. That's weekday pizza. Oh, and I'll actually show you something else with this. Okay. Any questions so far? Sarit?
No, so far so good.
Good. All right. Usually you have a ton of questions. Okay, I'm just cutting these off so I can.
I think people are literally just watching and like trying to, write it all down as you're doing it.
Okay. Well, they can watch again. Okay. So hold on a second. Let me just see. Oh, another thing you can do before I get there, you can take some of this dough, and if you want you can make, is this being seen? You can make mazel tov. Somebody's having a party, right? A birthday, you can go like this. You can make it fancy. You do this right on the cookie sheet so that it doesn't get deformed as you do it. And then you can do an A, like that. You can make these into letters. And what I usually do when the chassan and kala, when the bride and groom walk in the room, it says mazel tov, all baked with white sesame seeds. I have it, kind of like this splayed in front of the bride and groom when they come to sit at the table, and everyone's going, whoa, it's a real crowd pleaser or whatever. Another thing you can also do, you can take long pieces like this, and you sorry, I'm just doing this kind of quick. You braid them, and in a long skinny thing like that. I didn't do a very good job there, and I didn't start with beautiful pieces, but anyway, you make it like that, kind of like a regular braid. Then you take a napkin holder, a paper towel roll. You cover it in aluminum foil, and you can spray it with Pam if you like. And then you wrap this around the toilet paper roll. You bake it, and you've got napkin rings made out of challah. It's gorgeous. Wow. They're gorgeous. And again, if you're having a festive type of thing, even for a beautiful Shabbos for your family, because they've been suffering through COVID, you can make something like that, and people get a real kick out of it. Okay. So now I'm going to show you a couple of desserts. Let me just make sure I covered, I covered everything there. Okay. Last few things. One is a cinnamon roll. Again, you take the challah. I would not do it this thin as I did for the pizza. So I would leave it as fat as you can, maybe use a little bit more dough, roll it into a square, probably twice this big. You roll it flat. You might use this to cut it square, or just leave it, whatever. Then you put on this, you take a little oil and spray it on. Probably just makes it more tasty if you want to save the calories, because it's very high in calories. Then just put cinnamon sugar in here. That's what you do. You sprinkle, and actually I took an old sesame seed, jar, what are they called? Spice jar thing, a big one, like this. And I filled it with cinnamon and sugar. And then I just go like this, whatever. And then once it's like that, then you roll it like that all the way up.
What's the measurements of cinnamon to sugar?
I would say for a cup of sugar, I would say about 2 teaspoons, maybe a tablespoon of cinnamon would be my guess. Maybe that's too much. I should have thought of having that. But anyway, that's what you can't really go wrong. So if you have maybe 1 cup of sugar and a teaspoon of cinnamon would probably be about right. There's probably 2 cups in there, and I probably put about a tablespoon, something like that. And then you sprinkle it in. Again, this is coming in very skinny because it doesn't have the cinnamon and sugar between it. You go like that, and then you take a knife. You can use this, but that's going to flatten it. And you will see on the side, it looks just like cinnamon rolls. I mean, it is cinnamon rolls. Then you take that and you put them in the cookie sheet, lined up sideways, flat, flat like this. They'll be huge. They'll be about that big. You put them all here, and then you bake that. And then when they come out of the oven, you drizzle sugar. You take some confectioner sugar and hot water, and then you drizzle that on the top. Unbelievable delicious. Okay, let's try another. I want to show you how to make babka, pretty much the same way. Oh, babka would be exactly what I just did, but you're putting chocolate in there. These are two, sometimes they get, so I'd let this rise a little, like if you're trying to reuse dough, let that rise a little and you'll make it easier to work with. But let me just show you the last thing here, which is a basket weave apple tart, again, with the same exact dough. You make this very, a square, basically, and you can pull it out to get it how you want it. And then you take apple and you put it down the middle. You cut this in thirds and you go like this. You can do this very carefully or messily, it doesn't matter. Okay. And you put apple here, blueberry, any kind of whatever filling you like. You can put poppy seeds, whatever you like, and a poppy filling.
Or apple filling.
Apple filling, exactly. So that's in here, and you put it in this square here, and then you go like this. Oops. Like that as you're going down, and it's all you're going over the apple. I'm doing it without the apple now, so it's a little bit different. You go like that. Then when you get to the end, you can figure out something to do it here. I can't remember how. Well, with the apple coming out. Oh, I remember. Sorry, you fold this up first. You fold that up first to hold the apple filling in, and then you start your weaving. That's just another dessert you can do. Again, this is all with the very first. The very same 1 bag of challah. You can make probably 6 challahs, an apple strudel, cinnamon rolls, and babka, and still have plenty for Shabbos. Okay, I think that is it. If there's no questions, I'm going to end the show. I'm very grateful to everybody being here. And remember, challah brings blessing and bracha into the home. So every time you make it, you should have this feeling of satisfaction, this feeling of you're doing exactly what God wants you to do, which is to bring in blessing in your home. If you're not able to make challah, don't worry. This is a beautiful thing that a woman does. But if she can't do it, or she has to buy them, or she's working, 60-hour work weeks or whatever, don't worry about it. But if you can do it, even once in a while, it really brings a lot of pleasure and a lot of blessing into the home.
The smell of all you're doing, even when we can't smell it, everything that you're doing right now looks so good. I can imagine when it's baking.
Oh yeah, hold on a second. I'm
so happy that you have this smell in the house. We'll do anything.
There we go.
Wow.
That's from the same batch that I made,
Wow. I'm so happy I reminded you about the baking. That looks gorgeous.
I know. If we had turned off the show and I forgot to pull this out, I'm like, So there it is. That's it. And,
wow. What is it? That just has white sesame seeds on top?
Yeah, that's why. Yes. Oh, also for the egg wash, the secret to egg wash, because it's hard to get the egg wash on, the secret is add a little bit of water. It doesn't have to be a lot, a tablespoon or 2 of water in with 2 eggs. One egg does about a whole bag of flour. So you need 2, 1 egg should probably do it, or you might need 2. But anyway, and then you add a little water in there and it makes it runnier, so it's much easier to do. So this just has egg wash on top with white sesame seeds baked in, and there it is.
Yeah, you have someone on Facebook who says they can smell it.
That's good. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. This is Leah Richeimer for the Ladies Talk Show. We'll see you next time.